Welcome back to the show. There's still the Premier League zone right here on Inspiration FM, and 𝐻𝐿 is still my name. This is where I bring the guys in. Let's start with Anthony. Anthony, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody.
Have you missed me? Have you missed me?
Well, no, not really. You didn't bring anything back, so keep your greetings.
I mean, you didn't need to say that on air. Come on, it should have been a private conversation.
I will expose you to the whole Lagos.
What did I ever do to you? So it's all good. It's all good.
Is he really asking?
Buddy, how are you this morning?
I'm not fine though.
You are fine. You are fine in Jesus' name.
He disappeared for 2 weeks. You could not even say, "Am I?" This is what
I told Anthony that it's on the way.
It's on the way from
oh ye of little faith. You people need to,
it's
tap
on the
into
way.
faith and believe.
It's on the way.
Yes.
The last time someone told me was on the way. Today I see the wait.
But was I the person?
The wait like for beach.
Steven, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Probably you have faith in me. These men don't. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just whatever comes, it'll come when it comes.
My guy just gave me a political answer, but it's all good. It's all good, diplomatic and whatnot.
Have you transferred the money?
When it comes to,
guys, it's a pleasure being back on the show. Definitely excited about this, and let's just quickly get started. Starting off with the review of FA Cup games last night. A couple of upsets, and also we saw some teams routinely cruise to the final 8 of the competition. Anthony, Brighton away at Stoke, 1-0. Evan Ferguson, a teenager, who's had a decent debut season, and Brighton are through to the final 8, the quarterfinals of the competition for the third time in about 6 seasons. A lot of improvement from that side. You agree?
Absolutely. And I'm a huge fan of Evan Ferguson, actually. He's 18, and he's really come along this season, playing some good football, scoring goals as well, leading the line for a team pushing for Europe at such a tender age. I think that's impressive to see. And then the win again, while it wasn't as dominant as you'd expect for a team like Brighton over a team playing in the Championship, at the end of the day, you take the win, and there's one step closer to maybe claiming some silverware this season. Time will tell. Wigan did it a few years ago.
Yeah,
Big Man City in the final. Maybe Brighton can do it this time around. Time will tell. But again, like I've been saying, Roberto De Zerbi is building something really good at the 𝐼𝐍𝐻 Stadium. I'll wait to see how well it comes along.
Fantastic. But then we saw an upset. Leicester fell to the hands of Championship side Blackburn Rovers, 2-0. And even though, Kelechi Iheanacho, our very own, was able to get a goal, is 18th in the FA Cup. No one has scored more goals than this man in the FA Cup since he started, participating in the competition. But it wasn't enough, to see the Foxes through to, the next stage of the competition. They've had a lot of struggles this season. Do you think there's going to be any respite for Leicester at this point?
Oh well, on the show yesterday, if you tuned in, I did say it that if there was any game that we might possibly see an upset, the Leicester Blackburn was it. And for Leicester City, they didn't start on the front foot, and it was mostly Blackburn in the first half, and that was when they took the initiative. Yes, in the second half, Leicester took it a bit more serious. They pushed out and puffed, but it wasn't just enough. And going forward, I think for Brendan Rodgers, possibly one tournament down might just help this Leicester City team, because they've been having what's the word now? I don't want to call it a terrible season? A poor season. Yeah, pathetic? That's the word. Yeah, a poor season. And I think the crashing out of the FA Cup wouldn't be a major worry for them. One less distraction as things are. It needs to find a way to galvanize Leicester into avoiding that drop zone. And we've seen them in that zone a bit this season. Going forward, like I did say, I think no issues at the King Power. I think it was just nice that they've crashed out.
Okay.
Just nice they've crashed out.
Okay, so good. Stephen, quickly. Fulham 2-0 over Leeds, and we saw 2 fantastic goals. One from João Palhinha and also from Mano Solomon. And Fulham, let's not even forget that they're 6th on the EPL standings and whatnot. So let's just breeze through that quickly. It was a good win for Fulham to book their space in the quarterfinal.
It was expected. Fulham's performance this season in the Premier League tells you that they are a team that are serious about their football. They know that they are not going to win the Premier League, but they know as well that the opportunity to play in Europe is right there for the taking. So it was good to see them play football the way they did and prove everybody right. And I'm glad to see that the traditional heavyweights are needing to readjust themselves to life in the Premier League and life in English football generally. As against, we were having a conversation about how there's now a need to protect heritage football clubs in England. So it's good to see that everybody else is not waiting for protection. People are simply playing their football instead of waiting for a sugar daddy to come through for them. So I'm glad for Fulham.
Okay. Speaking of heritage teams, I don't know if we can call Man City a heritage team, but
no, please. Let's
Can we just move on from?
we're not really dwelling on that. Phil Foden scored a brace. Kevin De Bruyne outside. They defeated Bristol City. They're through. And quickly, let's look forward to the fixtures today. Anthony, quickly, Southampton versus Grimsby Town, a 4th-tier side against the Southampton who are bottom of the EPL table. At least we expect them to get a win.
Well, I've been impressed with Southampton in the cups. They got to the semi-final of the League Cup.
True.
Beating Man City along the way. They're in the 5th round of the FA Cup as well. I think they beat Crystal Palace along the way as well at Selhurst Park. So they've done well in the cup competitions. And to be fair, they do have the quality. You just wonder why they're struggling so much. They have the quality to be in a better position than where they are at the moment, and you expect them to show that quality later tonight. They'll take confidence from that victory over Chelsea 2 weeks ago. Of course, they'll be banking on maybe a set piece from James Ward-Prowse and all of that. But overall, I think, Grimsby Town, a team playing 40 years below them. Southampton should have too much quality and should claim the win.
Fantastic, but quickly the big one: Manchester United take on West Ham United, a team obviously have one of the best forms across Europe this season. West Ham, West Ham are beginning to come into their own slowly. They had a very comprehensive victory over the weekend. Danny Ings, scored a brace in there. This might be a tricky test for Erik ten Hag and the boys. What do you think?
Oh, well, you took that right out of my mouth. Very, very tricky tie, if you ask me. Expecting Erik ten Hag to, make a few changes to his starting 11. For the starters in that team, they've had a couple of weeks that have been rigorous, basically playing every other day. And for West Ham United, for David Moyes, it lost to get one over Manchester United.
True. And
at Old Trafford, it's one ground that he's actually succeeded in terms of the teams he has coached. To tonight's game, it will be difficult, like we've noticed, like we've said. And for West Ham United, I won't be surprised if they do, force a replay tonight.
Interesting times. The other game, we're not talking about it, but Tottenham, would be away at Sheffield United, the championship side, and that completes all the fixtures for the FA Cup. Now, quickly, we can look forward to the EPL as 2 games come tonight. Arsenal have the chance to extend their lead at the top of the standings and put further daylight between themselves and second place Man City. If they get a win, at the Emirates Stadium against Everton, they have the chance to move 5 points clear. Stephen, the Gunners, this might be a true test of their title credentials. We've been saying that all through the season, but again, against an Everton side that that they've struggled to defeat in recent times, and also Mikel Arteta's from our side, how do you see this one playing out?
This is not a crystal ball moment, but every Arsenal fan knows that every single game is a test of their title credentials. You know that it just takes one slip up. I mean, I want to take another look at the Premier League table just to see the distance between them and the second place. It's 3 points. It's 3 points.
2?
Yes, they've got a game in hand. I beg your pardon, it's 2 points. They've got a game in hand on City, but it doesn't mean anything at this point. It's literally squeaky bomb time. Every single game is an opportunity to get ahead of Manchester City, because you know that City are just waiting for Arsenal to slip up. So they will not be going into this game with any measure of confidence to say, we're going to beat them. But I do think that Arsenal are a composed side, and it will be a narrow scoreline that separates these two teams.
Okay, fantastic. And Anthony, finally, Liverpool versus Wolves. Yes, I waited and I saved this for you. Let's not dwell on this.
If you want to,
how do you see this one happening?
Wait now.
Don't rush the man.
I don't understand.
No, because it concerns Liverpool.
I'm
Don't
paid
rush the man.
to do analysis.
Okay.
Let me do my analysis.
Okay.
Now.
That's why Wolves are singing. Guess who's coming to dinner?
Look.
At the Anfield. The last time Liverpool played at Anfield in the Champions League, we saw
it was 5-2. I was going to say that actually. And then the last time Liverpool played Wolves was 3-0 to Wolves as well. In the reverse fixture. Wolves are notoriously difficult to break down. They don't win a lot of matches because they don't score a lot of goals. But they are very stingy at the back. You won't see Wolves losing 4-0, 5-0 like some of the other teams around where they are. The problem is that they don't score enough. Liverpool seem to have started to tool that line. They don't score enough goals as well. We saw that against Crystal Palace. After 30 minutes, you knew that there were no goals in this match. They don't have the creativity that they need to create chances. Some good news, Darwin Núñez is back.
Okay.
He missed the game against Crystal Palace. He's back in this one. I think his aggressiveness and his,
he's becoming good. He's becoming good. Yeah.
Tends to give them a bit of edge going forward. So that's why I think Liverpool might just edge it. Like I said, don't expect 3-0 or 4-0. 1-0, 2-1, something like that, and that's it to be at the end of it. But I think Liverpool will win.
Or maybe
at Anfield. But time will tell.
Enjoyed this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.